Something familiar about this place.
Luke Skywalker is every fan's hero. He is the embodiment of the light side of the Force, and is there to do the right thing, always. At least this is how die-hard Skywalker fans feel about him. But let's not forget the darkness inside Luke. Luke's father was born of a Sith Lord, and the dark side resides in Luke's blood because of this. But there could be another reason Dagobah seems so familiar to Luke Skywalker. A more underlying reason. Today, on Star Wars Fanatic. Don't forget to slash that subscribe button like it's a village of annoying Tusken Raiders. When we see Luke visit Dagobah, just before he meets Jedi Master Yoda, he talks with his trusty companion R2-D2.
This place gives me the creeps. Still, something familiar about this place.
Something familiar about Dagobah? Why is that? Well, when we first saw this scene in 1980, we thought it was alluding to something along the lines of Luke visiting this place before, maybe as a small child. Well, that never turned out to be the case. It wasn't until years or decades later that we could put two and two together. Dagobah is strong with the dark side of the Force. It was one of the reasons Yoda chose it as his refuge. It would mask his own Force energy from Darth Vader and the Emperor. But what does this have to do with Luke? Like I said before, Luke's father, Anakin Skywalker, was created using the midi-chlorians carrying the Force, and the one to create him was a Sith Lord. Anakin Skywalker was created by the dark side of the Force. In turn, his offspring carried a less concentrated dark side energy. Less concentrated because their mother was not a Sith, nor dark side user, or light side user for that matter, well, that we know of. So when Luke says Dagobah is familiar, it's the dark side presence he is referring to, not the physical location nor the landscape. Does Star Wars outright say this? No, but we look at Luke's behavior through the original trilogy, we can see the dark side of the Force within him. But is this the only reason it's familiar to him? No, but Luke often taps into his dark side to overpower an opponent or gain passage into a realm. But although Luke doesn't recognize why Dagobah is so familiar, when he notices the cave, he says to Yoda,
There's something not right. I feel cold.
I don't know if he doesn't acknowledge the dark side in this scene, or if he doesn't recognize it. He is still in the beginning stages of his official training with Yoda. Obi-Wan wasn't around long enough to explain the dark side fully. Only briefly did he touch on it from what we saw in A New Hope. Another reason it couldn't be the scenery or landscape that is so familiar to Luke is that we never hear of Luke leaving Tatooine. That isn't to say he hasn't left, but let's look at why it would be unlikely. Number one, Uncle Owen needed him around the family moisture farm and was very strict as to what Luke's obligations were to the farm. He kept him on a short leash to ensure he didn't become like his father. Number two, Luke has a T-16 Skyhopper but doesn't leave orbit in it. Instead, he murders small animals for fun with it. Luke would have had to hire a charter to leave Tatooine, but would have needed a reason to go to Dagobah on his own, and we just don't see that. Number three, the biggest reason. Obi-Wan was watching over Luke grow on Tatooine, but he had no spacecraft. He hired Han and Chewbacca when he finally talked Luke into leaving Tatooine for good. But he wouldn't have taken Luke to Dagobah unless it were to meet Yoda, which he did send Luke to do on his own after the Battle of Hoth. So Luke had never been there before that. Okay, so what is the other reason I spoke of that could be a reason Dagobah was so familiar to Luke?
sense something, a presence I've not felt since...
Okay, are you catching on? Yoda. Luke recognized Yoda's Force presence. If you remember, Luke and Leia were born in the presence of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. Now, I could say he recognized Obi-Wan was there as well, but Obi-Wan was pretty much everywhere Luke was since they left Tatooine and after Obi-Wan's death. It wouldn't have been a new feeling to Luke that Obi-Wan was around. Yoda would have been a new feeling. The darkness in Luke? Yes, he would have recognized it pressing from the outside, but he didn't remark on it being cold when he said there was something familiar, as he did with the cave. The only logical explanation is that he recognized Yoda's presence. He didn't quite know what it was because he was so young when he last saw Yoda. After all, Luke was a newborn. However, the Force is strong in him. The Force is also strong in Yoda. A presence in the Force such as Yoda would be felt by anyone with the slightest Force sensitivity. It may have been recognizable to someone who had been around it before. So, what do you think? I'd like to know in the comments below if you have a differing theory or even if you agree with this one. Hit the thumbs up if you like the content. It really helps me gauge what I'm doing right by my viewers. Also, don't forget to destroy that subscribe button like it's a village of Tusken Raiders. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away this Black Series figure to one random lucky subscriber. I'll even pay the shipping. Good luck, and may the Force be with you always.